Hello friends, welcome to the video number 4 for Visual Basic for applications in Excel. And well, in this video we're going to be creating our very first subroutine. So we're going to type a little bit of code, and well, it's going to be very simple but very nice. So just open the editor. Remember, you can come here to the developer ribbon and click here on Visual Basic, or just press Alt F11. And as we saw in the previous video, the first thing we need to do is to insert a module. So we have our first module. Something I forgot to mention in the previous video about modules is that here in this properties module, we can change. Here we can select, well, actually right now we just have the module, but we can change the name. So when we start working with 5, 10 modules, well, it can be kind of confusing, like where did I place a subroutine that did this? So you can just rename here. Very descriptive, so there it is. Just one thing, try not to name this the same thing as any of your subroutines. It can create some conflicts in when you are trying to run your code. So now that we are inside of the module, let's create our first subroutine. And basically the only thing that we need to do is write sub and then choose a name. Remember what we saw in I think the first video when we were making a macro, how to name the macro. Well, it's basically the same for naming any subroutine. Make sure that you start with a letter or with an underscore. Try to make your name descriptive, and well, if you stick to try to start every time with a letter, you should be okay. Do not include any kind of special characters on your name. You cannot have spaces. So remember, if you are gonna choose a name for your subroutine that has 2 or more words, you can separate those with an underscore, or you can use what is called the camel casing. That's actually my preferred way to do it. Just once you choose a way to do it, just stick to it. It's kind of hard if you are going to be switching. You can make mistakes. It's easy to make mistakes if you are changing your mind. So just stick to one way to do things and you should be fine. In this case, let's call it, I don't know, something like that, user greeting. Here we can just press enter. And well, as you saw, VBA automatically end the subroutine for us, place the end of the subroutine. So everything, all the code that we are going to be running in this subroutine has to be contained between this sub and this end sub. All right. The other thing is that these parentheses that were also added by VBA, these are necessary. They have to be there. These are to contain parameters that are going to be used inside of the subroutine. In this case, we are not going to use any parameters, so it's a subroutine with empty parameters. But again, the parentheses, they need to be there. And as you saw, just write sub, then the name of your subroutine, press enter, and VBA is going to add those parentheses and the end of the subroutine for you. I'm just going to make a little bit of space. And here we're gonna just write something very simple, as we saw. Actually, I think we saw this on the very first video. Just write range. When you open parentheses, you get the hint. This tooltip gets displayed. So it tells you, okay, as a range, you have to put the cell 1 and then a comma and then cell 2. In this case, I'm just gonna use one cell, so it's going to be a text, so between quotes, then with close parentheses, well, not yet, just between quotes, I'm going to say on cell A1, I'm going to close parentheses, and then I put a dot, and it gives me these options, these different options. many options. What I want to do right now is just to say the value, this value. You can use your arrows on your keyboard to select whatever you like. You can finish typing if you wish, or if you have selected this, just place the tab key on your keyboard and it's going to be completed for you. So the value, again, if you read it backwards, is like the value of the range A1. I want it to make it equals to, and following, I think, programming tradition, hello world. And we're going to do it one more time, but now on A2. Again, value. Oops. There we go. So now we're ready to run our subroutine. This is basically, again, like a macro. So what we can do here is we can come to the to these menus, choose run, and then click here on run. We can use the green arrow or F5. So here is the green arrow, again, in the standard toolbar. You can see this green arrow. Or if you are inside of the code, you can just press F5, choose whatever method you like better. I'm just gonna click this green arrow display symbol, and voila. So now you can see we have here hello world and your friend Rafael Hinojosa. Okay. What else am I forgetting? No, I think that's it. That's pretty much about it. I mean, we have created our first subroutine, and this is what we need to do every time we want to contain some code or start writing some code. If we come outside of the subroutine, press play. Well, it tells you, okay, well, I mean, you are playing nothing, so where do you want to start? Oh, I want to start on the user greeting and then run. Now I remember one thing that I almost missed. Usually the nice part of this codes is that you don't want the user to be coming here, opening the editor to be able to run the code. So basically, you would like to run this from Excel. So a very nice way to do that. Well, we can create a shortcut in the keyboard, but I think the best way is here on the developer. Come here to this group that says controls, and here on insert, you have form controls. The very first one is a button. So just insert a button, and immediately it's going to tell you, okay, you want to assign a macro to this control? Yes, I want to assign this macro, the user greeting, select it, and just click OK. So now you can see this button. And while we are here, we can just say change the text. Here we can have spaces or whatever you like. This is just called like the caption. It's with a G. Greetings. Well, if I'm messing things up again, well, I'm sorry about that. So now, as you can see, we place our cursor or a mouse on the top of the button. We are ready to take some action. We can see the hand. So if we just click in here, the macro runs or the code of the VBA runs, and we get our result. So this is a very nice way to do it. This way we don't need to be going back to the Visual Basic editor or have the user go into the Visual Basic editor to run the macro. So from here, we have placed a control inside of the workbook or the worksheet. They can just click and start the macro. All right. So well, that was our very first subroutine. I hope you enjoy it. In the next video, we're going to see how to create subroutines that are going to call other subroutines to make different things so that we can keep our code more organized. All right. So again, subscribe to the channel so that you stay tuned. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends. As always, thanks all of you guys and girls for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.